here's where the real issue started. Cena gets hurt. It was supposed to be Cena Punk at Hell in the Cell. And the main storyline that year was going to be Cena and Rock at WrestleMania, which nobody knew about yet at the time. But that was the Roman Reigns storyline going on for Vince. That was so. Even though I had got red hot, Cena gets injured. Cena then suggests that they pull me and put me in his spot for the match with Punk. I just keep getting hotter and hotter, even though I'm playing a supporting role. But right when they put me in that, Jane Geddes, the head of talent relations at that time, they call me. I had a $5 million malpractice suit against the doctor that the attorneys had been working on. Open and shut case. The doctor that fixed me on the final surgery was going to testify. WWE tells me, and they multiple times, they go off the record, they go, you're going to be fired if you don't drop this. We're going to get a lot of bad press out of this, even though we're not directly involved. We sent you there. We need you to drop this malpractice suit. We'll take care of you financially. Everything was great. I was red hot at the time. They go, it'll be water under the bridge. There'll be no more issues with anything that happened in the past with any of this. And that's all that I wanted. And I go, as long as you allow me to work for my money and we take care of everything, I go, I'll do this. My attorneys begged me not to do it. But I was red hot, and I was finally going to get to do what I wanted to do. But that was the beginning and the end of the games creatively with everything. And it kind of just snowballed from there. And it kept building and kept building and kept building. Dangle the carrot, dangle the carrot, dangle the carrot. Finally, my last year there, and that nerve injury from that ankle, that runs into your back, your L4 and L5, the peroneal nerve. My discs were rapidly degenerating from the botched surgery, but they didn't want to look into it. And I was told never to talk to Vince about it. And that's one of the big things and why I still want to talk to him, because I honored them, the people under him, because I would have got fired much sooner if I would have betrayed them and tried to talk to Vince, because me and Vince actually had a pretty good relationship and talked to him a lot over a lot of things on that. And so this is where people don't understand the kind of the legal bullshit that got wrapped up with all of this. And so anyways, I had the contract was coming up, and they wanted to renegotiate. They put the IC title on me, offer me a new contract. They conveniently do things also with the championships that people will go for with it. And people this is why people don't understand that sometimes why things happen. And I was getting thrown a bone to re-sign it, and they wanted to try to sign me at a pretty low rate for the things that I was bringing in. And that we knew I was bringing in. And so I went to Vince. I went to Hunter first, then went to Vince. And Vince agreed to give me on a multi-million-dollar deal. Championship run. We had some very nice things, but he wanted me to sign over the trademarks that I'd had previously with Feed Me More and the Big Guy. And the supplement stuff that I wanted to do, even though that was an entirely different class trademark-wise, they wanted to kind of get connected on everything. But I was hurt. And then I kept telling Hunter, I go, I'm hurt. And I didn't want to take myself off the road, though, and look like a pussy. And I didn't want to get MRIs because you don't do that. You just you're there working every week. A week turns into a month, turns into a year really quickly.
Yeah.
It turns into a lot of years. And so I was frustrated because I felt like they just didn't give a fuck. And it's just kind of the thing. And you're just another body up there making money until you take yourself out of it. And finally, towards the end, when I wasn't signing the contract, Vince, and I was in the trunks, and they were booking me really well again. It looked like we were going to go somewhere. I did the thing, break it, take it, like I was going to break the glass ceiling and go for the brass ring. And it looked like starting beating guys, doing the ground and pound. That would have paid off had I signed the contract. But as you know what happened, so I wasn't signing the contract. And so that championship run, that Vince handshake agreement, then got put to me versus Kalisto for the U.S. championship. A demotion, but hey, sign the contract and everything. We'll get you back on track. I didn't sign the contract. So then that match got turned from being on the main card at WrestleMania to going on the pre-show. Still didn't sign the contract, which they would have switched it back to the show if I would have signed it.
Wow.
So then it went from that to then, well, you're putting Kalisto over in the pre-show. That's fine. I like Kalisto. He's a great guy. I have no problem losing to Kalisto. I lose to Kalisto. Vince did not, like, again, he's like, so they keep that match going for one more pay-per-view. They keep it very limited on TV. They keep me still looking all right. They let me get a win on them on TV. Sign the contract. You'll go over. You're going to have a run with this. We'll get you back on track. Didn't sign the contract on the pre-show again. Put Kalisto over again. I show up to TV the next day. I was physically, I was getting towards the end. I was really, really bad. My back specifically with it. And And I just go, I'm looking up the side effects of Toradol. It's saying you're not supposed to be taking this stuff every day. I go, fuck, I'm taking 12 ibuprofen a day, 3 times a day, and I'm getting a Toradol shot 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week for years now, for the last 2 years specifically. And I just go, I have to get out of this environment. I just have to get, I don't know what's going to happen. I just need to leave. And so I get to TV and they were going to start embarrassing me on TV to try to run down value to get me to sign the contract. And I already knew, I go, I just have to get out of here. I go into the office. Mark Carrano was in there with Ric Flair, and I go, just take me off the TV show. I'm going home. I go get my bags. And he comes in, you got to go talk to Vince. Go talk to Vince. I go, I don't want to talk to him ever again. I'm done. I'm going home. We're done. And I go home.
Big gold and a billfold, so swole that I can't get the shit closed. So I money fold and rubber band wrap, and when it pops.